Hello champions, welcome to the session. Aji morning ami a session to MCQ koram jot English MCQ 10 ami koram tate ki hoy MCQs bur we have planned MCQ bur eneke ami plan korisu jor pura tumaluke you can relate these MCQs with the question paper, with the actual question paper. These are actually the sample question papers which we have taken, these are the questions from the sample question papers which we have taken for your help. So let's start with the session. Today's session is on English. I am telling you English MCQ. Let's start. So the first one is a cloze test. Now what is actually a cloze test? Cloze test helps you to improve your verbal ability. Now this is a part from the verbal ability section, and the cloze test is a paragraph where you are given some blanks and you have to complete the blanks. Even at times there will be some options in the cloze test where you may be given a question that to find the errors from the paragraph. So the cloze test is actually is conducted to check, to assess your verbal ability. So let's move with the first question, with the first cloze test, the passage Anu and Dia. Now whenever you find a passage or a paragraph or some sentences, go through the sentence properly. If the first time you are not able to get or perceive the meaning of the sentence or the passage, try to read it once again. So that will improve your understanding capacity, your perception, your cognitive ability, and at the same time it will also improve your time management, where you have to be what will be the consistency of your understanding and reading at the same time, which should go simultaneously. Okay? Anu and Dia. So we have to be very fast while reading the passage. Anu and Dia dash back home from college when they dash a sniffle from the bushes. Now, what is sniffle? Sniffle is a sound which is made from our nose, like it can be related with a sneeze or some kind of screeching sound which is made from our nose. So, a sniffle from the bushes. They looked for the sound and dash. They dash a pup snuggling in dash. Okay, pup means a puppy, that is a baby dog, and snuggling, I am telling you, you should also know the meaning of these kind of words, because if you don't know the meaning, you will commit mistake while understanding the meaning of the entire passage. Now snuggling means to be comfort, to be in your comfort zone, or to be in a comfortable position in your couch or in your bed or in your sofa. Whenever you are feeling comfortable, we term it as snuggle. So the options are given. The first one, the first blank which we will do is Anu and Dia were. From the word where, we know that it is something related with past tense. So were dash back home from college when they dash a sniffle from the bushes. The entire sentence is in past continuous tense, and so we will go through these options, and the 4 options, try to place the options. When you read the sentence, you can just assume, but still go through all the options, because at times it may be confusing, or you may find that 2 of the options may be apt to the blank, but still these mistakes, these confusions are actually made by the examiner to assess your capability. Okay? So, Anu and Dia were dash back home from college when they dash. So, come, went, coming, coming. So, here one more thing you just notice, that these 2 coming are coming, but which one is the correct spelling of coming? So, this is the correct spelling. So, which will be the correct option? Anu and Dia were come Only come will refer to present tense because they are returning from their college back to home. That will be in continuous tense, and so we will opt for coming. Went will not go because went is past tense, because past tense in the sense that is simple past, and here it is something which is related to a continuous flow, or where they were actually the work, the activity is not completed. When they were coming back home from college, when they dash a sniffle. Now sniffle is a sound actually which is made from our nose. So sniffle can be heard. It can be heard. We can perceive with our ears what is the sound. So for the sound, what we have options here: hear, heard, hearing, heard. Now see, when the sentence in the initial stage, it was past continuous. Here it will be simple past, and here for simple past, this is the wrong spelling. This is the wrong spelling. So we can put it in red even. And this is the correct answer where it is heard. Okay. Next we have the options. So let's go back to the passage again, because the slides are here. Even in the question, why we have given this kind of slides going back to and fro, because in your exams even the screen, the question will come in the first screen, and you will not get the option to go to the question or go to the passage in the same screen. You have to go back and again come back to the question for the options to click the option. So that this kind of practice will make you adapted to the situation, so that you can handle the question, and at the same time you can handle the stress. Now see, they looked for the sound and dash, they dash a pup snuggling in the dash. Now what it will be for number 3, the options are surprisingly, suddenly, unfortunately, and happily. Now see, these words, though they are referred here, these adverbs actually, unfortunately it can't be because they were happy to see a pup. So anything baby, when two girls are there, when in case of boys, even they have some kind of tendency of caring when they see a small animal or a baby animal or even a human baby. So the girls are too much provocative, or they are too much inclined towards babies, and when they saw the puppy there, they were happy. So we can't give unfortunately here. Unfortunately mane dukh loga ke. But happily here again, because something is gradual. Going back to the question again. They looked for the sound, and can we place it happily? Happily will be something which is the outcome. The other word is surprisingly and suddenly. Now what is the difference between surprisingly and suddenly? Which one to place here? Now suddenly is something which comes or which happens all of a sudden. That means without any prior knowledge. And surprisingly even happens all of a sudden. But it has a difference from suddenly, because surprisingly is a gradual flow of events. So in here what happened, they were coming back, they heard some sound, and after that they noticed the pup there or the puppy there. So that is a gradual process where they were already known to some kind of event or to some kind of astonishment or surprise. So they were known to the event. They were somewhere, to some extent they know the event, and so here we will place surprisingly. Okay. So we will place here surprisingly. Can you understand the options? Then we have number 4th one, that is again moving to the passage. They dash a pup. When they were surprised, they dash a pup. What they will dash? Going to the options, see, saw, see, seen, have seen. Now again, they, here it will be because they were surprisingly, they, what they did, the tense will be in the form of past tense because it was past, and here it will be a simple past because all of a sudden or surprisingly, with the gradual flow of events, they saw a pup. So what they saw, we can't give the option see because that will be in present tense, and again seen. So that will be the past participle form. Here we have the simple past tense. So we will opt for saw, and have seen will be past perfect. So here we can't put have seen. So the options will be, go through the options and try to find the analogy, find the comparison, that which one will be apt to place here. Then we have again the 5th one, that is a pup snuggling. Let's read the sentence once more. They looked for the sound and surprisingly they saw a pup snuggling in dash bushes. So the options are in dash bushes. The in is given here. The preposition is already there. So we can't put over, we can't put on, or we can't put at. So there is something here definite which will tell that in the bushes. So the correct option will be in the bushes. Yes? Can you relate what the cloze test is actually trying to assess? This is going to assess your verbal ability. Now here in BPS, we are providing you a lot of examples from the sample question paper, and these question papers which we are going to discuss in our sessions, these are going to be really helpful in terms of your CUET undergraduate exam. So join BPS and be a part of this organization and crack your exams with excellent flying colors. So that will improve your career in future, and you will note that what BPS has done for you. Hope you all join us and get more help from us. So the next one, number 6. Here the question is based on analogy. Analogy is that it is trying to make some kind of comparison where the proportion or the ratio is already given, and here you have to fill the blank with the exact option. Now see, crockery. Here the options are given crockery. What is crockery? Crockery is actually the things which we use to serve. So it will be the cups, plates, bowls, all the things which are made from some kind of bone china, or it may be porcelain, or it may be melamine. So the material which or the things which are basically very fragile, the things, the not the utensils but the serving bowls or the plates, the spoons, everything, not the spoons, the serving dishes, those are the items which we as a whole term as crockery. Now for crockery we have another, the ratio is saucers. So saucers falls under the category of crockery. In the same position we are placing here pottery. Now pottery is something where pots are made, where earthen pots, or we can say where the terracotta, the indigenous Indian culture of terracotta, or we can say the pottery tradition where indigenous things are made out of mud. So that what we can do, what are the options that we can as a whole term as pottery? The options are given here. So dishes, Dishes, yes, but as a whole, dishes are placed under crockery. So we can, the dishes, now see, we also term dishes as the actual item, the food item. So that won't be placed under pottery. Next we have pitchers. Pitchers means actually the jars. We can also say the jars. So these are actually made or fall under pottery. But even if we are getting our answer to some extent, try to go through the other options so that you don't keep any confusion in between. Yes? So next one is bone china. Bone china is what? Bone china is a material from where fragile crockery is made. তোমালোকে হয়তো নামটো শুনিছে, মা দেউতাহঁতে কৈছে bone china plate, bone china ball, তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ. Next we have melamine. Melamine is nowadays it is used, it is a form of a plastic which is a byproduct and which is actually used because of its compatibility. It doesn't break, it is not fragile. So melamine. So melamine, bone china dishes won't be sufficing the option here, and so we will go with the option that is pitchers. Yes? We'll go with the option pitchers. Next, moving on. Hope till here everything is clear. Moving on to the next question, that is rearranging. Now this is very confusing in terms to your CUET undergraduate exam, because here you will get lengthy sentences where the parts will be given and you will have to arrange them. And most of the questions which are related to arranging the parts of the sentences will be based on clauses. So you have to find the principal clause or the subject and the object of the sentence, and then you have to find out the options. Now, one more thing I just want to advise and add here is that most of the students, what they do, they try to find out and go through the options here. So that is a cumbersome work. It will take more time and it may be wrong at times, because if you go with the options and you try to find out the answer while going through the options, that will take more of your time and it will not be helpful, because at times, because of the stress and because of the environment of that exam scenario, you will commit mistake. And that is a psychological problem. That is a psychological attribute where students commit mistake because of these kind of flaws or errors in their options, in their going through the question. So go through the question, go through the parts in case of rearranging the sentences, and try to find out the principal clause or try to find out the subject or the object. Subject as well, the object of the sentence. Now let's read the sentence, read the parts. Number M, among bacteria results in. So something is related with science, or we can say something is related with the multicellular or unicellular organisms. Besides their main strand of DNA. So something, again the clause besides, the constant trading of genes, an amazing variety of genetic structure. So going through the options, what you can just find out, just go through the options. I will give you a few seconds. Go through the options, go through the parts. So here what happens, you have gone through. So here what happens, you have to find the beginning or the subject of the sentence, and here after reading I can assume that something is related, something is starting with the option O. Okay, the constant trading of genes, the constant trading of genes, something related with our genes, with our genetics, an amazing variety of genetic structure, which one I will say, the constant trading of genes among bacteria. So we can go, the first one will be O, definitely. Then we have the P and M. So besides is something which is related with N, the last one, hope so. Besides their main strand of DNA. Then we will go to the options M and P. So the constant trading of genes among bacteria results in an amazing variety of genetic structure besides their main strand. So this is the option. Hope so. This is the correct option. We will go again once. The constant trading of genes among bacteria results in an amazing. So after in we can relate here the N here. So after M it will be P, and the besides their main strand is something which will come after comma. So here there will be the comma, and besides their main strand of DNA. So here there will be a full stop. So OMPN. This is the correct option. So you have understood how even the parts of the sentences placed in your exam will be really confusing in terms. Why? Because they are made actually to confuse you. They are made actually to confuse you in the exam hall. After the exam you may be able to answer correctly. But most of the students tend to commit the silly mistakes while answering the options. Moving on to the next, we have number 8. Find the correct word that substitutes the following expression. Something that serves as an introduction. Introduction means here the options, we have to go through the options in order to find the correct word, because here you have no other option. You have to go through A, B, C, D. The first one is epilogue. Now in terms of English literature, if you have gone through plays or poems or long plays, there you find that the last part, that is the conclusion of the entire literary piece, is summarized in a last part, or the conclusion is given, and that one is termed as the epilogue. And the opposite of epilogue, that is something which is in the beginning of the play or the literary piece, we term it as prologue. So that is actually the introduction. The question here, the answer serves is prologue. But still we will go through the other options, that is number C is elegy. Now what is elegy? Elegy is actually a poem or any literary piece which is written after one's death. It is actually a kind of lament where a person is lamenting on someone's death. So we have poems, we have literary pieces based on elegy written on someone dash and dash. So then the number D, the option. Going through the options, we can just go through the options in this session in order to improve your vocabulary. The D option is epitaph, and epitaph is something which is written after one's death, and it is placed and it is written on someone's in the burial place. There we write something which is written on this, that so and so has died here, this is the place, he was born here and there, and he was a good person. So that is the section where we can term as epitaph. So the correct answer here will be prologue. Moving on to the next is question number 9. Rays of sunshine. Now here it is related with the figure of speech. Again, figure of speech. For figure of speech, we have elaborate sessions where we will discuss, where we have already discussed figures of speech, their use, and how to identify in a sentence which figure of speech is placed there. Here, the figure of speech you have to find in the sentence is rays of sunshine peeped through the corners. Now, rays of sunshine. rays of sunshine, what it did, it is actually peeping or it has peeped. Peeped is something, peeped mane hoise bhumuki mara, peep. So, when we peep, actually peep is something related with humans, or it is something which is related with living organisms. Even animals peep, that will be a different sense of peep, but humans peep to know some kind of like it is like vigilation or it is some kind of detective role. Here rays of sunshine is peeping through the corners. Now see, if you can see the windows or the ventilators or the corners of your room or of the roof, when the rays of sunshine peep through it and enter your room, that instance is given in this sentence. It is trying to enhance the explanation that rays of sunshine is peeping through the corners of the roof. So here peeping is related with humans and rays of sunshine or rays of the sun is not human or is not animate. So when it is not a living thing, how can we relate here with peep with rays? So here when we are comparing or when we are trying to find the analogy between animate and inanimate things, we term it as personification. So the other options we will defy them because it is related something with person and the attributes of person. So here it will be personification. Now simile metaphor you already know, and even hyperbole, the exaggeration of hyperbole, the exaggeration of any events or any expressions, that is hyperbole. Simile metaphor is the example, is the comparison where we put simile is where we put like and as, and where the comparison is indirect without the placement of the words like and as is metaphor. Moving with the to the last question of today's session is question number 10, and that is choose the correct meaning of the idiom to call a spade a spade. Now this is a famous idiom where the sentence is trying to make you understand or give a meaning to a situation even if it is unpleasant. That means telling the truth or to be very frank in the situation. You are in a classroom, you are facing some kind of problem, even if it is unpleasant or even if it is not sound to express your irritation or your problem in front of the class, you are expressing your problem frankly in the class, and that will be like you are behaving like to call a spade a spade. Sorry. So the options, we will go through the options. To cut the bushes with a spade, no. Now see, when you get a term like idiom here, you try to find out the figurative meaning. Don't go with the literary meaning. Don't go with the literal meaning, go with the figurative. Idiom and phrases, we have sessions, we have already recorded, recorded the sessions. We have the sessions based on phrases and idioms where you have to deal with the figurative meaning, that is the meaning which is higher to the literal meaning. So whenever the idiom word is there in your question, try to find out the figurative meaning of the quotation, of the quoted words. So to cut the bushes is a literal meaning, we will not follow that. Number B, to use abusive words to hurt someone. Here though something is related with spade. So something is related with spade mane kur. Kuror logot koise jodiu yate ami abusive words ami kobo nwaru, because here though it is something related with the figurative meaning, here it is not the act of hurting someone with bad words or abusive words. Here is to be frank even if the situation is unpleasant. Then we have to speak the truth even if it's unpleasant. So this is the correct option. Why? Because I have already said that to be frank to a situation and telling expressing the situation in your terms, even if it is not good at that time or even if it is a bit unpleasant. Number D, even if we got the answer here in number C, we will go and read the fourth option, that is to go for a walk in the lawn with a spade. So that is a literal meaning where someone is going to the lawn with the spade along with you and walking through the lawn. That is differently, that is completely different and it is not going with the question. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. Hope you all have understood the options and you have gone through the options and you have understood that our team is actually working to be at your service and to help you in this in the preparation of your CUET undergraduate exam. Thank you for being with us throughout the session and hope you join us in the next session with more interesting points.